Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Charlotte, and today I want to do a sample ASTB math subtest with you from this book. There are two exams in this book. In this video, we're going to do the first one, and I'll post another video for the second one. There are 30 questions in this sample math exam. On the actual exam, you'll have 20 to 30 problems to complete in up to 40 minutes. If you need a refresher on the ASTB and test format, I have linked my ASTB overview video in the description box. When you do sample exams at home, I highly recommend that you at least try one of them timed so you have a better feel of the timing during the exam. Obviously, in this video, we're probably going to take more than 40 minutes to complete 30 questions, just because I'm going to read out loud each one of the problems and try to write out all my thinking process. I'm also not very good at writing and speaking at the same time, so you might hear awkward pauses here and there, but I'll try my best. When you do sample exams at home, I highly recommend that you write down all the steps, so when you check your answers, you can identify exactly where it went wrong. Let's get started. You need 8 barrels of water to sprinkle half-mile roadway. How many barrels of water do you need to sprinkle 3.5 miles of roadway? So we know that we need 8 to sprinkle half-mile roadway. And in total, we're trying to sprinkle 3.5 miles of roadway, which is also 7/2. So 8 divided by 1/2 is 16 times 7/2. And we simplify the fraction here, we get 56, which is option delta. 2. A snapshot 8 inches long and 6 inches wide is to be enlarged so that its length will be 12 inches. How many inches wide will the enlarged snapshot be? So we know the length is going to go from 8 inches to 12, and the current width is 6, and we're trying to find what the new width would be. So the new length is 12, old one is 8, and we multiply that by 6, we'll get the new width. Simplify this, we'll get 3 and 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. That is option Charlie. 3. Madeline has an ordinary life insurance policy with a face value of $10,000. At her age, the annual premium is $24 per thousand. What's the total premium paid for this policy every 6 months? Note that her annual premium is $24 per thousand, so we have 10,000 times 24 per 1,000, but we're only trying to find the total premium paid in every 6 months. So we're going to divide that by 2 or multiply by 1/2. We'll get, so simplifying the 1,000, this becomes 1 and this becomes 12. We get $120, and that is option Bravo. Number 4, of 2 pounds of cottage cheese costs $3.20. What's the cost of a 3-ounce portion of cottage cheese? It's important for us to note that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So $3.20 can get us 32 ounces of cheese. Multiplying that by 3 ounces, first we want to simplify 320 over 32 to be 0.1. So 0.1 times 3 is going to be 0.3, and that is option alpha. Number 5, Jonathan drove for 12 hours at an average speed of 55 miles per hour. If his car covered 22 miles for each gallon of gas consumed, how many gallons of gas did he use? We're just trying to do some unit conversions here. So 12 hours at an average speed of 55 miles per hour. So 55 miles per 1 hour times 12 hours And we know his car covers 22 miles for each gallon of gas. So 22 miles in the bottom and 1 gallon of gas on top. Simplifying the units, we know that our answer will have a unit of gallons. And simplifying the rest of the equation, divide this by 11, we get 2. Divide by 11, we get 5. And 2 can then be further simplified. And here we'll get 30 gallons of gas, and that is option delta. Number 6, Max earns $7.50 per hour if he works from 8:45 a.m. until 5:15 p.m. with an hour off for lunch. How much does he earn in one day? First, we want to calculate how many hours that Max worked in a day. 5:15 p.m. in military time would be 17:15, and because Max's start time is 8:45, we're going to turn 17:15 into 16:75 just to simplify our math. So 16:75 minus 8:45. We also know that he took an hour off, so we're going to subtract an additional 1 here, and we'll get 8:30, so we'll get 7 hours and 30 minutes. That's the total amount of time that Max worked in a day, which is also equal to 7.5 hours. And we know that Max earns $7.50 per hour, so we're going to do 7.5 times 7.5, 5, 25, 5, 7, 35 plus 2, 37. So this is 35 again. 7 times 7 is 49 plus 3 is 52. Here is 5, 12, 6, 5. We'll have 2 decimal points. So he will earn $56.25, which is option Bravo. Number 7, if 5 shirts and 3 ties cost $52 and each tie costs $4, what's the cost of a shirt? So if we assume that the cost of a shirt is X and cost of a tie is Y, we then know Y is equal to 4, and we know 5X plus 3Y is equal to 52. We know Y is 4, so 5X plus 12 is equal to 52. 5X is then equal to 40, and X is equal to 8, which is option Bravo. Number 8, what's the 5th term in this series? So to get from 5 to 2, we're going to subtract 3. To get from 2 to 9, we're going to add a 7. 9 to 6, again, we're going to subtract a 3. So to get to the next term, we're going to add a 7, which is 13, and that is option delta. Number 9, in a theater audience of 500 people, 80% were adults. How many children were in the audience? So if 80% were adults, then 20% of the total number of audience are children. 500 times 20% or 0.2 is then equal to 100. That is option Charlie. Number 10, a brand name dining room table usually sells for $240, but because it has been the display model and is a little shop worn, the store manager lets it go for $210. What's the percentage of reduction? So we're going to find the difference between the sale price and the original price, so $240 minus $210, and we're going to divide that by the original price, which is $240, and that is 30 over 240, and we're going to do some simplification, so that's 1 and that's 8. So 1/8, we're going to turn that into decimal, which is 1 over 8. 0 point, so that's a 1, 2 times 8, 16, 0.125, or 12.5%. 12.5 can then be written as 12.5%, which is option alpha. Number 11, Mr. and Mrs. Asher bought a repossessed house for an investment for $55,000. It was assessed at 80% of the purchase price. If the real estate tax was $474 per 100, how much tax did the Ashers pay? We know the purchase price is $55,000. Multiplying that by 80% or 8 over 10. And we know the real estate tax is $474 per 100. And we're gonna get rid of the zeros. So 55 times 8 is, so that's 440. Multiply that by 4.74 or 47.4 times 44, which is 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 7, 28 plus 1, 29, 16 plus 2 is 18, and write the same numbers again. Here we have 6, 15, 18, 1 plus 8, 9, 9 plus 1, 0, and 1 decimal place, 2085.6, which is option alpha. Number 12, the scale on a particular map is 1 inch equals to 50 miles. On this map, two cities are 2.5 inches apart. What's the actual distance between the two cities? So we know 50 miles is represented by 1 inch, and the cities are 2.5 inches apart, so 2.5 inches. 50 times 2.5 is equivalent to 25 times 5, which is 125 miles. And that is option delta. Number 13, a shipment of 2,200 pounds of fertilizer is packed in 40-ounce bags. How many bags are needed for the shipment? Just like the previous problem, we know 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So first we're going to convert 2,200 pounds into ounces by multiplying by 16. Then divide that by 40 to get the number of bags. We're going to simplify this by crossing out the zeros. 4 can then become a 1. So 240 times 4 is 880, and that is option Bravo. Number 14, a TV set priced at $400 was reduced 25% during a weekend sale. In addition, there was a 10% discount for cash. What was the cash price for TV set during the sale? So first we're going to multiply 400 by 1 minus 25%, which is 75%, 75 over 100. And we know on top of that we have another 10% discount. So multiply that by 1 minus 10%, which is 90%. I'm gonna write it as 9 over 10. So the 100 will go away. That will become a 4. And 4 times 75 is 75 times 4, that's 20. And that is, so 300. We're going to write it as 300, and this 10 will then go away, and that becomes 30. 30 times 9 is 270, and that is option Charlie. Number 15, in a store, 4 clerks each get paid $255 per week, and 2 part-timers each earn $120. What's the average weekly salary paid to these 6 workers? So we're going to first calculate the total salary, which is $255 times 4 plus 120 times 2. We're going to divide that by total number of workers, which is 6. Then we'll get 255 times 4, which is, so that's 20 and 22. That is 1020 plus 240, which is 1260, and divide that by 6, we'll get 210, and that is option Bravo. Number 16, the perimeter of a rectangle is 40 feet. If the length is 5 feet and 6 inches, what's the width of the rectangle? Here we need to know that there are 12 inches in feet, so 6 inches is half a feet, and the width would then be the perimeter divided by 2, subtract the length, which is 15.5. So that is 20 minus 15.5, which is equal to 4.5 feet. And that is equivalent to 4 feet and 6 inches, option alpha. Number 17, what's the result of dividing 0.675 by 0.9? So here, first I'm going to multiply each of them by 10. So that would turn it into what's the result of dividing 6.75 by 9. 9 can't fit in 6, so that's a 0. 7 times 9 is 63. And that's a 4, 45. 5 times 9 is 45, so our answer is 0.75, which is option delta. Number 18, two planes leave the same airport traveling in opposite directions. One is flying at speed 340 miles per hour, the other at 260 miles per hour. In how many hours will the two planes be 3,000 miles apart? So if this dot is the airport, one's traveling this way at 340 miles per hour, and the other one's traveling this way at 260 miles per hour. So it's pretty obvious to see on this graph that in total, they travel 260 plus 340 miles per hour. That would be 600 miles per hour. In total, we want them to travel 300 miles. So the number of hours it would take would just be 3,000 divided by 600, which is equal to 5. And that is option alpha. Number 19, what is the cost of 5 feet 3 inches of plastic slipcover material that sells for $8 per foot? So we're going to do unit convergence again here. We know there are 12 inches in a feet. You can either convert everything to feet or inches here. If you don't like dealing with decimals, go for the smaller unit, which is inches. If you don't mind dealing with decimals, go with feet. And in this scenario, let's go with feet. So we're going to convert the 3 inches to feet, which is 3 over 12. That is 1/4, which is also 0.25 feet. And we know the material sells for $8 per foot. So 5.25 times 8 is, so that's 40, that's 20, and that's 42. Cross out the 2 zeros and we get 42, which is option Bravo. Number 20, if 1 gallon of milk costs $3.84, what's the cost of 3 pints? There are 8 pints in a gallon, so we know 8 pints of milk cost $384. We're trying to find the cost of 3 pints, and we multiply this by 3, which is equal to 384 times 3, so that's 12, that's 25, this is 11, and 2 decimals, 1152 divided by 8, that's 1, and 4 times 8 is 32, and 32, and that's another 4, 144, which is option alpha. Number 21, a man left $72,000 in his will to his wife and son. The ratio of the wife's share to the son's share was 5:3. How much did his wife receive? So we're going to divide the total amount of $72,000 by the total number of shares, which is 5 plus 3. And we know the wife gets 5 out of the 8 shares. And if we simplify this, so we know 5 plus 3 is 8. And further, 8 times 9 is 72. And 9 times 5 is 45 plus the 3 zeros, 45,000, and it's option C, Charlie. Question 22. A recipe calls for 2.5 ounces of chocolate and a half cup of corn syrup. If only 2 ounces of chocolate are available, how much corn syrup should be used? So first we're going to convert cups to ounces. There are 8 ounces in 1 cup. Then we're going to find how much corn syrup is needed for each ounce of chocolate. That will be 4 over 2.5. I'm going to write 2.5 as 5 over 2. 4 divided by 5 over 2 is the same as 4 times 2 over 5. That will be 8 over 5. So 8 over 5 ounces of corn syrup is needed for 1 ounce of chocolate. We'll have 2 ounces of chocolate available, so 8 over 5 times 2. But the final answer we're looking for is in cups. And we know there are 8 ounces in a single cup. Simplify our answers. The 8's go away, and we end with 2 over 5 cup. And that is option Charlie. Number 23, a ship sails X miles for the first day, Y miles the second day, and Z miles the third day. What is the average distance covered per day? So to find the average, we're going to find the total distance traveled, divide that by number of days, which is 3. So that will be X plus Y plus Z divided by 3. That is option Bravo. Number 24, a man invests $6,000 at 5% annual interest. How much more must he invest at 6% annual interest so that his annual income from both investment is $900? I'm going to let X represent the amount he's going to invest in addition to the 6,000. The equation then becomes 6,000 times 5% plus X times 6%. That's going to equal to 900. Simplifying the first equation, here we have 300 plus 6 over 100. X is equal to 900. So 6 over 100x is equal to 600. And X is equal to 600 times 100 over 6, and that would become 10,000. That's option Delta. 25. Which of these is an example of similar figures? So the definition of similar figures tell us that option A, alpha, is what we're looking for. Number 26, find the numeric value of 5 times a squared times b minus 3 times a times b squared if a is equal to 7 and b is equal to 4. We're just going to write this out. So 5 times 7 squared times 4 minus 3 times 7 times 4 squared. And this is equal to 5 times 49 times 4 minus 3 times 7 times 16. We know 5 times 4 is 20, so 49 times 20 is then equal to 980. 3 times 7 is 21, so 16 times 21 is 2 times 6, 336. 980 minus 336 is equal to 644. That is option Bravo. Number 27. If the circumference of a circle is divided by the length of its diameter, what is the result? The formula for circumference of a circle is 2 pi r or pi d divided by the diameter, which is d, we'll get pi. That is option Charlie. Number 28, a businesswoman spends 1/5 of her small company's gross income for office rent and 3/8 of the remainder of the company's income for salaries. What part of her income does she spend for salaries? So if she spends 1/5 for office rent, she has 1 minus 1/5 left. She then spends 3/8 of this for salary. And 1 minus 1/5 is 4/5. Multiply that by 3/8. Do some simplification. Here we get 3/10, which is option Bravo. 29. Using the following formula, find the value of C when F is equal to 50. So we'll just plug in the value of 50 into the formula. We know 50 minus 32 is 18. 9 can then go away, and this will become 10. Option Alpha. Number 30. What is the average of these temperature readings taken on a cold day last winter? Again, average will be the sum of degrees divided by number of days. So -12 minus 7 is -19. -19 minus 2 is -21. 0 doesn't change anything. -21 plus 6 is -15. And here we're looking at 5 days in total. -15 divided by 5 is -3. And that is option Delta. And that's it. We did it. I know there were a lot of unit conversions in that sample math exam, so I thought that could make a one-pager containing some of the common unit conversions that I ran into when I was doing the sample exams. And here they are. I also have a PDF version of it in Google Drive if you want to download it. It's linked in the description box. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye.